What's up guys, welcome back for another YgoPro duel video. Next match, Cross-Banlist Cup. Finally, the last 30 games remaining again. We start off with a top 16 cutoff. So from here on, you can definitely as a deck afford to use, at least lose one duel, and then you will just continue in the left side of the bracket. But if you win, you will continue on the right side of the bracket. The two decks here of today, first of all, at least are both decks from 2012. So this is not really like a cross-banlist, cross-format, duel or slash match. But I'm not really sure if both these deck lists are from the same format. They are from the same year, but again, not really sure if they are from the same format. It might be. The first one here is of course Dark World, good auto Dark World, like a lot of draw cards of course, with of course Reckless Greed, a couple of solemn cards, but again the power, one of those power cards being Tour Guide at 3, and definitely cards like Dragged Down into the Grave, same with the combination of like Mind Crush. Definitely, as it is as a Dark World player, you definitely wanted to go first to make use of those cards to gain information about your opponent's hand. The second deck list, second deck we have Light Sworn Scales Dragons. This is the winning YCS list from, I think it was YCS Toulouse. Pre-Errata from, Future Fusion of being able to immediately activate it, sending 5 dragons from your deck to the grave. So basically fueling your graveyard for, something like your boss monsters, your Chaos Boss monsters, right? A Dark Flare, Pulsar, Chaos Sorcerer, and of course also having access to triple Tour Guide, which was super staple for that time. So which deck has the advantage? Might be difficult, but again, going first will be very important. I mean, especially for Dark Worlds, but same for Chaos Dragons, right? Both decks can definitely brick having multiple monsters, let's say, and no, mill cards in case of Light Sworns, or draw cards in case of Dark Worlds. So it might be 50-50. Okay, so let's go into game number 1. Okay, first of all, Dark Worlds get to start, and immediately opening up with card destruction is something as you definitely want to have as a Dark World. So gaining those 2 extra draws, well, 2 draws off of card destruction, right? Somewhat sacrifice a 3rd draw here of setting the Dark Hole. I think it can be useful, right? Of pushing, or at least have like a potential, OTK next turn, right, with multiple special summons. But as a Dark World player, this is definitely one of the best first turn openings you can have, going for Leviair. Leviair was like a plus machine for Dark Worlds of getting back that banished Dark World monster, and then, get it back from your, at least get it back from the field for like a possible Krafa summon during your turn as well. But him going for Zenmanes and Dark Hole was definitely a very good move of destroying the field spells, and I think I already burned through like 3 copies of the field spell here. But yeah, again, Monster Reborn, also such an important, ridiculous card here in most decks, especially older decks. Here in this case of reborning a Dark World monster and reborning your Krafa, of setting the Dark World back to your hands. And back in the time, those were some very solid pluses. Using the Mind Crush here, okay, I mean, Mind Crush, it's a card that you can play in pretty much every format. Every deck searches cards, and it was, at least it is still a very popular side deck choice, but main decking a Dark World. In a Dark World deck, again, very good. This worst case scenario, you could just use Mind Crush, call it wrong, and then your opponent is forced to discard one of your cards. It's, well, again, as you know, discarding by your own card effects, so you pretty much won't be getting the beneficial Dark World effects. But still, that can be important if like Krafa is your only card in your hand. Krafa will still pop one of your opponent's cards, so that can be important, right? That's definitely a good start on the opponent's part here. At least my hand wasn't there. At least he had Heavy Storm again, blew me away, activating the Reckless Greed or not. I'm not really sure if it mattered that much, but again, having 2 options, basically 1 extra option to work with, somewhat sacrificing my draw phases, at least the next upcoming draw phases, right? This was unfortunate. I think I had a small comeback going with Krafa, attacking over the Red MD and stopping the I think one of the best 2-card combinations back in those times of, both having like Pulsar and Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon on your side of the field. Most decks had like a lot of difficulties to get over that particular combo, since again Pulsar is able to get, or at least get back to reborn your Red MD, and of course Red MD is able to reborn any dragon type from your graveyard, and as you see most of the time, that will just be your Pulsar, right? I'm very low on life points, but I do have control here in the duel, but again, it's it's just a matter of time, as you see with the Future Fusion. I'm forced to use a Torrential Tribute here, but again, Pulsar will just activate. Red MD can activate again to reborn the Pulsar, and now he will be able to deal some damage and attack for the game. So the deadly combination, but basically the Future Fusion, right? Game number 3, I get to start as a Dark World player, that's something you want, but my draws, my opening hand is not that great. Failure on the Tour Guide, I guess it's fine. Well, you know, a potential Zen Veins or Levier, depending on my next draws, but that in-hand Sengyan isn't that useful, and I think my sets aren't that useful as well, so Torrential Tribute just gives him an extra draw, and I lose both my monsters on the field. Again, I had to protect my field spell, I guess, from the Lyla. If he just, you know, attacked both my monsters and main phase 2 Lylat, I would have lost my gates eventually. Here, I think this was a bit early to use, at least burn through my Solemn Judgment already, since, you know, we knew he had a Dark Arm Dragon from, you know, banishing the Eclipse. But I think it didn't really matter that much. He would have banished my Sengyan, I think I, you know, didn't have any follow-up plays after that, and I think in any situation he would have been able to drop the Dark Armed Dragon and, well, you know, deal the last damage and attack for a game. So I think a well-deserved win here for Chaos Dragons. Pretty much taking the win over Dark Worlds, right? But again, Dark Worlds, as I mentioned before, are still in the tournament, but they will move on the left side of the brackets. So yeah, again, as I mentioned before, Lightsworn Dragons, Chaos Dragons will move on to the right side. The next matchup will be Blue Eyes versus Synchro Cat here, so again, like always, feel free to leave your predictions who is going to win Blue Eyes versus Synchro Cat. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching, and feel free to leave a comment or a like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.